Hi, so in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get a wide, punchy vocal that really sounds great in a mix. Basically, the first thing I did is I got this vocal file. If you have a look at it, it's actually a single file. But what I've done is I've removed all the breaths from the file. So if we just take a listen here, there's like a little breath going on here. So I've got rid of all the breaths. It took a while, but it's worth doing. So if we just take a listen to the raw sound.
Well, who am I to keep you down? You're right that you should play the way you feel it.
And then the other thing I did is if we actually go into the track, I actually put a glue compressor and a Pro EQ, which is an EQ, on the track. The compressor, I didn't really do too much. I just selected the soft clip and I increased the volume. So if we just take a listen to it with the compressor on.
You're right that you should play the way you feel it.
And without.
Listen carefully.
So it's a pretty subtle thing, but basically what it does is it smooths out the peaks and the lows, and it keeps a consistent volume, which is really important for the listener, that they've got consistent sound throughout the track. And then what I did is I added a EQ and I just cut out some of the lows. So basically all of this low end is taking energy away from the song, and it's not necessary, and we can cut some of that out. That's all I did on the main track. I've automated the return track here. So there are little bits of the return track with a little bit more reverb at the end of a phrase. So we've got a consistent reverb in there, and the reverb is actually set here. We can't hear the reverb because I switched it off. So let's just put it back on now, and we'll hear what that track sounds like with the reverb.
That you should play the way you feel it. Listen carefully to the sound.
So if we have a look at that reverb track, what I've got here is I've got a sidechain to the actual vocal track. Okay, so what that means is every time the vocal track hits the compressor, the actual reverb will be ducked. Every time it goes away from the compressor, it will come back in. So it doesn't clash with the vocal phrases, but it has the reverb going on when the vocals are not on. So you've got this constant feeling of sound. The reverb itself is EQ'd. So I've EQ'd a lot of the low end and a lot of the top end. And in addition to that, because this is a house song, I've also done some sidechain on the reverb itself. The next thing I did is I duplicated it exactly as is, and I created a second track, and that second track has a little alterboy, which is a soundtoys plugin. Basically what that's doing is it's giving a lower pitch version of the main vocal. So let's take a listen. And it also has sidechain on there, and it has some EQ. I could add a little bit more, but I don't want to overdo it. So when you listen to them together with the reverb, it sounds like this. So that lower vocal just gives a little bit more of an anchor to the sound of the vocals. And then finally, I created a third track, and I copied the main parts of the third track to the third track. And the thing that you'll notice about it is that it is pitched up by 4. So that creates kind of a harmonic effect.
In the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost and what you had.
Now the volume there is much, much lower. The reason for that is it's not a real harmony. It just gives a harmonic effect. If you have the volume too loud, then you can hear that it's fake. So what you want is that effect rather than actually hearing the harmony. So let's just now listen to all of the tracks together.
And what you had.